Dear students, today I will discuss about the hip bone. Hip bone is a large irregular bone and situated in the pelvis of human body. This is hip bone. Hip bone is composed of three parts: the ilium, the ischium and the pubis. The upper and a larger part is ilium. The posterior inferior part is ischium, and the anterior inferior part is pubis. The pubis and ischium is divided by a large foramen known as obturator foramen. The three parts joined together at a cup-shaped hollow known as acetabulum. Acetabulum joins with the head of femur to form the hip joint. The ilium has four borders: the upper border or superior border, the anterior border, the posterior border, and the medial border The upper border or the upper margin is known as iliac crest. It is mostly superficial in human body. The anterior end of the iliac crest is known as anterior superior iliac spine. The posterior end, similarly, the posterior end of iliac crest is known as posterior superior iliac spine. Along the anterior border, below the anterior superior iliac spine, there is a similar elevation of bone on the anterior border. This is known as anterior inferior iliac spine. On the posterior border, there is also a similar bony elevation, and this is known as posterior inferior iliac spine. Below the posterior inferior iliac spine, there is a large gap or notch known as greater sciatic notch. There are three surfaces. One is iliac surface or the iliac fossa or the internal surface, the gluteal surface and the pelvic surface. The iliac surface, the gluteal surface and the sacropelvic surface. The pubis has a body and two ramus. One is superior ramus and another is inferior ramus. The superior ramus joins with the ilium and ischium, and the inferior ramus joins with the ramus of ischium to form the ischiopubic ramus. The body has two borders, upper border and lower border, and three surfaces: anterior surface, posterior surface and medial surface. The medial surface joins with the medial surface of opposite pubic bone. The ischium, this is the posterior inferior part of hip bone, has a body and a ramus. The ramus joins with the ramus of pubis. The body has three surfaces and three borders. The borders are anterior border, posterior border and a lateral border. The surfaces are femoral surface, dorsal surface and pelvic surface. Femoral surface, dorsal surface and pelvic surface. Pelvic surface. At the posterior surface, at the posterior border, below the greater sciatic notch, there is a bony projection known as ischial spine. Below the ischial spine, there is also a gap known as lesser sciatic notch. These are the joints formed by hip bone. This is pubic symphysis formed by two pubic bone, and this is hip joint formed by acetabulum of hip bone and the head of femur, and this is sacroiliac joint formed by the ilium of hip bone and sacrum, and this bony structure formed by two hip bone, sacrum and coccyx is known as the bony pelvis or pelvic girdle.